Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about why we're here today, folks, and why are we all wearing denim? Because in Italy, there was a case that said that a woman wearing jeans asked for it. That she, as a victim of sexual assault, was asking for it because of the tight jeans she was wearing. And we're all here standing in solidarity today with one another to say there is no excuse for sexual assault. As a result of that case, women around the world stood together in solidarity to say that we would put an end to this violence. There is no excuse for sexual assault or domestic violence, and we know that this becomes an unfortunate cycle of violence towards women. The United Nations has indicated that globally, 1 in 3 women become the victims of sexual assault or domestic violence around the world. Here in Los Angeles, we see those numbers oftentimes devolve into the very populations that we're working to address that are living unhoused on the streets. Because women that have experienced these traumas, trying to escape these environments, often are unprepared to be able to sustain their lifestyle outside of those environments and likely end up homeless. It's why, as chair of public safety, I continue to work to expand and invest in our interest to provide victims of these assaults the support and resources they need. It's why I created a bridge home housing site that is wholly dedicated to women that have experienced sexual assault and violence, domestic violence. It's why I continue to fight as public safety chair to create alternative and supportive response for survivors so that they can get through the traumas and begin to heal and tell their stories so that we can put an end to sexual assault and domestic violence together. It's why a week ago we hosted a self-defense course for women who so often are working in vulnerable circumstances, like women that work with the United Service Workers West, who are often the victims of sexual assault in the workplace because they're often alone cleaning our high-rise buildings and become the victims of assault. Providing the tools for women is not something that has been normalized sufficiently to assure that we put an end to domestic violence and sexual assault. And it's why, with the extraordinary amount of women that are elected to now represent the halls of government here in Los Angeles, that together we are going to continue to expand those investments to assure that here in the city of Los Angeles, we start to make a more concerted effort and dent in reducing the incidence of sexual violence in the city of Los Angeles. I want to thank all the survivors that are here with us today. It is your strength, it is your stories that will help assure that we put an end to these cycles of violence. We must normalize the conversations with young people at an early age to ensure that together we put an end to this epidemic and that no other women sustain the types of traumas that so often are unspoken of. And so at this time, I want to thank my partner, my ally, a woman that is no stranger to helping to uplift the stories of women here in the city of Los Angeles, and that is none other than the most incredible advocate that we have, the executive director and leader of Peace Over Violence, Patty Giggins.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Rodriguez, for hosting Denim Day 2023, and it's so exciting to be back here at City Hall. Denim Day is now in its 24th year and has become an international vehicle for promoting sexual violence prevention education, supporting survivors across the world. The first Denim Day was here in Los Angeles in 1999. The year of the now infamous Italian court case. Over the years, it has grown to reach millions of individuals worldwide, every year more and more, and is now the longest running sexual violence prevention education campaign ever. There are Denim Days happening across Los Angeles, the state of California, in all 50 states, and all over the world. They're happening in businesses, communities, governments, military bases, schools, and universities. Our partner collaboration, Denim Day New York City, is having events in all 5 boroughs, and they are marching across, in denim, across the Brooklyn Bridge. There are Denim Days in Italy, in Montreal, Canada, Colombia, the United Kingdom, Brisbane in Australia, Singapore, the Netherlands, and the Diego Garcia Island in the Indian Ocean. We will also be hearing from the Consul de Protección from the Consulate General of Mexico, who will be announcing exciting news that 51 Mexican consulates across the United States, and including Mexico City, are participating in Denim Day this year. One of the themes that came out of COVID is the necessity to take care of ourselves and each other. A public health awareness grew that by masking, vaccinating, washing our hands incessantly, we were protecting ourselves from getting the virus and hopefully preventing its spread. Our Denim Day campaign themes this year are let's protect each other, be an ally, be an upstander. These messages are appropriate coming out of this last period of threat. How does one do this when it comes to sexual violence? One way is by cultivating and practicing qualities and characteristics that allow us to stand up for ourselves, learning how to use our voices, our bodies, our mind, our spirit, learning self-defense, to express ourselves and set boundaries to protect ourselves, and then to go beyond the self, to be an ally and an upstander for others. An upstander is the opposite of a bystander who does nothing. An upstander takes action by finding a safe way to intervene or interrupt a situation. An upstander acknowledges the harm done to a victim survivor, whether verbal or emotional or physical, and validates and supports. The upstander says, I see what is happening here. I am a witness. An ally also acknowledges and stands with survivors and helps educate others that there is no excuse to harass, abuse, or rape under any circumstances. An ally listens, speaks up, and supports the dismantling of rape culture. An ally says, I see you, and I am here for you. Let's all strive to be allies and upstanders in our world. By showing up together, we are in allyship. Raise your hand if you feel like today you are for sure an ally. High, raise high. We're so glad you're here with us today. Sexual violence is an intersectional and urgent social justice issue. To truly end it, we cannot separate it out from racial and ethnic justice, economic justice, disability justice, gender justice, domestic violence. We cannot separate it from the need for improvements in our health and criminal justice systems. There are too many dots to connect and complexities to appreciate. That's what makes Denim Day a vibrant opportunity to focus on including all survivors and support the growing efforts for equity and justice. The trauma from sexual and domestic violence is among the root causes for so many social harms like substance abuse, suicide, gun violence, homelessness, the list goes on. When we repair trauma and when we prevent trauma, we are ending suffering and promoting a healthy society. Today we wear denim with a purpose as a visible means of protest against the misconceptions that surround sexual assault and to put an end to victim blaming. There is no excuse and never an invitation to harass, abuse, assault, or rape. And on a more personal note, I am so honored to do this work alongside many of you in our Denim Day movement. We still have a long way to go. It's been my privilege to build a violence prevention movement with you and to draw public attention to this critical issue and experiences and the needs of victim survivors. We will continue to make our social statements with our fashion statements until the epidemic of sexual violence ends. Thank you for being here today. And it is again, we have like this amazing council members here, plus other leaders in our city and our county. And I'm so pleased to introduce you and welcome to the podium the councilwoman from District 1, Eunices Hernandez.
Thank you, Patty.
this? That's there.
Thank you so much, Patty. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I think Councilmember Rodriguez already walked you through this, y'all. Good morning. Yes, we are here together. You know, we all have different perspectives on things, but there's one thing that unifies us all today, and that's that we want to end sexual violence, that we want to support survivors. So I'm grateful to be able to join you all today. Thank you to Patty Giggins, Peace Over Violence, for organizing this event, to all the folks who are tabling, the different organizations who have brought resources, to my colleagues, to my colleague Councilmember Monica Rodriguez for taking the lead on bringing this event and moving it forward here at City Hall. I am just honored and grateful that this much collective energy has been put around this particular issue. I'm a survivor of harm and violence. And, you know, I spoke about it during the campaign, but I think it's important to keep talking about it because it's one of the reasons why I do the work the way that I do, in trying to prevent harm and violence and not just reacting to harm and violence. It's one of the reasons that while in community, I helped create with a group of survivors, SNAC, Survivors Network Against Criminalization, because we wanted other pathways as survivors to be able to get healing services, health support, community, conversation, instead of having to go through the traditional pathways that often our communities, you know, are not very comfortable accessing because of the trauma that traditional services have offered. And I'm not talking about. And so I say this because we need to keep creating those type of spaces. And it's one of the reasons why in council, we helped and are moving forward and help create in the future an Office of Survivor and Victim Services at the City of LA, because we want to create other pathways and other resources for people who are survivors of victims of different types of harm and violence, including sexual violence, to be able to get health care, support, mental health services, trauma-informed, gender lens services, you know, led with equity and culturally competent. And so these are the things that we're working towards now. And I'm sorry I'm getting tongue-tied. You know, it's just not easy to be up here to talk about these things. But again, I am very grateful and honored to be able to share space with you all this morning. And I hope that we can work together to continue to move this work forward, both on community side, but also here within our city council, within our city government, with the creation of the Office of Victim and Survivor Services, so that we can continue to put care first models and policies forward, so that we can prevent harm and violence again, repair the harm and violence, and reduce it in the first place. Again, thank you so much for being here today. I next up want to call one of my amazing colleagues that's right behind me, Councilmember Nithya Raman, representing CD4.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Okay, thank you. You learned. I want to thank you all for coming out here today. I want to thank Patty Giggins, who's just an incredible, incredible hero in doing this work. And I just really want to lift her up and the work of Peace Over Violence up. If you don't know about it, get to know it. It is amazing. I want to thank Councilmember Monica Rodriguez for leading today's effort in recognizing Denim Day again. And I want to be really, really mindful of the fact that we have more people standing here today than we have had in Denim Days in the past, because we have more women on the city council, more women standing up and saying to survivors, we see you, we are you. I also just want to say that I wish that some of the men were out here too, because this is not just a women's rights issue, it's a human rights issue. I want to say that I am fully committed to using and learning what the city can do more of to make sure that we stand with survivors. And today I want to make that commitment to all of you, to Patty and to other leaders in this field who have done much more work on this than I ever have, that this will be a focus of mine over this next year. It is something that I worked on before I was elected. I too am a survivor. I've never really spoken publicly about it, but I think it's important to make sure that we are lifting this issue up and that we're using all the tools that this incredible city and all of the power that it has available to us to address this issue head on. So thank you all. Thank you all for giving us this space. And it is a continuing reminder. We will not forget this issue. Denim Day brings it back year after year to remind us that while that moment of Me Too activism that inflamed the entire world is gone, This issue will never be forgotten. This issue will always be at the center of our work. Thank you all. And I want to introduce Councilmember Katie Yaroslavsky from Council District 5.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Councilwoman Rodriguez, for calling this press conference. It's an honor to join you. I'm Councilwoman Katie Yaroslavsky, and I'm proud to stand with my colleagues on the City Council, the County Board of Supervisors, and across the country and world in solidarity today with survivors and call serious attention to sexual violence in LA. I especially want to thank Peace Over Violence and Patty Giggins for all the incredible work you do every single day, not just once a year, to offer critical services to victims of sexual and domestic violence. Thank you for bringing us together to spotlight this critical issue. It affects millions and millions of people all across our country and around the world. Since I've started speaking, roughly 68 seconds, another American has been sexually assaulted. Sexual violence is so insidious that 1 in 4 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime. I invite you to take a look around at the number of women at this press conference and let that sink in. Sexual violence can take many forms, from physical assault to harassment. It can occur in any setting, and it does, whether at home, at work, in schools, on our streets and sidewalks. Sexual violence survivors are not a faceless group of people. As we've seen today, they're our colleagues, they're your sisters, they're your parents, your aunts, your brothers, your friends, yourself. No one is immune. And it's up to each of us and all of us to work together to prevent it. And like my colleague Nithya Raman, I commit myself to continuing to do whatever I can from this vantage point to work with all urgency to make sure that we're reducing as much of it from happening in the future, and we're providing whatever resources and services survivors need to thrive. Thank you so much for being here today. This is incredible. I want to introduce my colleague and friend, Heather Hutt, who's the councilwoman from the 9th Council District. 10 oh, God, 10, sorry. 10.
Right. Good morning. Oh, come on, y'all. Monica told you. Good morning. All right, thank you. I'm Heather Hutt, Councilwoman of the 10th District. And I, too, my sister, too, my cousins, too, and many of you are survivors. And that's the whole point. We're survivors. And we want to thank Patty for having an outlet, for having somewhere to go when we have trauma. So I can't thank you enough. Let's just give her a big hand. Peace over violence is a real thing that all of us have committed to support. We've committed to change the trajectory in Los Angeles. So if you see something, say something. Our community has got to be safer, and we are the women to make that happen. I want to say, she did not ask for it. When this happened in Italy, that was the answer. That's what the rapist said. She asked for it. She did not ask for it. I did not ask for it. Eunice's did not ask for it. Nithya did not ask for it. We did not ask for it. We know how to ask for it, but we did not ask for it. Not for that. No, right. No, but this is a serious matter. Rape is a serious matter. Sexual violence is a serious matter. And I'm proud to stand alongside my colleagues here and legislatively to make Los Angeles and our community safer. Thank you so much. And thank you, Monica, for bringing us together. That's in the top of my talking points, but I got emotional. Thank you, Monica, for bringing us together. Lord, Patty, back to the mic.
Right. When we don't consent, we do not consent, right? This is a great rally today, and it's so great to be with the wonderful members of our city council and other electeds and supporters for Denim Day this year. And I do want to appreciate the supporters, U.S. Bank, Sony Pictures, LA City Council member Eunice Hernandez, Thrive Cosmetics, Hagamel, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez, Supervisor Hilda Solis. The supervisors are all supportive, but they're all in Washington, D.C. LA City Council member John Lee, Council member Blom Blumenfeld, U.S. Council 28th District, California, Judy Chu, and did I say Holly Mitchell? Yeah, we've got such great support in this city and this county, and also I want to include the 41st mayor of LA, Antonio Villaraigosa, who's one of our great Denim Day supporters. So it's not too late to help support. You know, we are part, Peaceful Violence, we don't do this alone as a movement. We are part of a whole network here in LA City and LA County of domestic violence programs and shelters and rape crisis centers and sexual assault centers. Those are our sister brother agencies who every day are there answering those hotlines or going to the hospital, meeting up with victim survivors and advocating and providing counsel. So you can support us in this 24th anniversary year by going to the QR code and donating $24 or more. I also want to just take a moment, and I want them to come up just for a minute. Peace Over Violence, we get a lot of accolades, but the unsung heroes at Peace Over Violence are our board of directors. Would my board just please come up here real quick? Please come up here. Mayanka and Jason, please come up. And Rochelle. And Dawn. I just want to say that, the work that we do at Peace Over Violence is so serious. We couldn't do it without the support of our board. Not everyone's here today, but we have a board of directors, we have an advisory circle, we have a national advisory circle, and those are the folks who are behind the scene, who advise, help us raise money, who get the word out and support our staff. So thank you so much. And many of them started as volunteers. They worked their way up to be on the board. Then they get to be my bosses. But we've been hearing, I want to thank our council members for coming out as survivors. This is important. This is critical. So I'm going to ask everyone here who is either a survivor or knows a survivor, because I'm not going to out anybody. If you're a survivor, or you know a survivor in your family, in your workplace, in your community, just raise your hand. Raise your hand. Take a look around. This is our community. This is a community of healing. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here in solidarity, and we hope you can enjoy all of the activities that we have going on. And I want to say that next year, for year 25, it's going to be a big celebration. We're going to have to go to Grant Park, I think. We have to make it huge. But it's my great pleasure now to introduce you to Lorinda Hawkins Smith. Lorinda is an actor, author, advocate, musician, writer, comedian, and filmmaker. She's a domestic violence survivor who earned her MBA while transitioning from houselessness to housed. Lorinda is at home combining art and social justice. She's been trained as a violence prevention specialist at POV and is a member of our advisory circle. She also has a book out called Justice or Just Me. Today she's going to be performing an excerpt which tells her stories from this series about her lived experience. And she's joined by 3 Justice drummers, Steve McGill, Lorraine Moreland, and Steve Taylor. Welcome, Lorinda.
I'm homeless. No, I never smoked crack. I'm childless. Yes, I want my babies back. I've been in jail. No, I've never robbed a store. People want to take from me, yet I'm very poor. The home I'm from was never broken. Peers I grew up with, all well-spoken. I have my bachelor's degree. No, I'm not joking. This is a piece of my life. It's just a token. Life's hard. And I like to keep it that way. Yeah, most women, they carry a purse. They have stuff, they put it in a bag. Me, I hold it. And sometimes I run out of pockets, and that makes life difficult. Apparently that works for me. I mean, some women, they will ask a guy to hold their purse. And if he does, that's a true test of love, right? But not if he enjoys holding the purse. I mean, imagine that. It's just like, okay, maybe I can take my purse now. Well, yes, it does bring out your eyes, sweetheart. Yes, I see. It makes your shoulders pop. Yeah. No, not if they enjoy it, because love is sacrifice, right? They can't want it for themselves. Nah. I mean, have you ever been pressured into giving up your purse? I mean, sometimes they even curse. I mean, that's what's worse. It's like, so baby, you gonna give me that purse? No. No. Don't act like you don't want me to hold it. No, you waving it in my face all this time and you just gonna act like, Give me that purse. Come on. No. See, I thought you loved me. No. If you really love me, you give me that purse. Right? Pressured for purse? Nah, the struggle's real, right? I mean, some women, they'll just be like, hey, baby, can you do me a favor and hold my purse? But me, I'm like, baby, can you do me a favor and hold my brain? It's so heavy to think. Yes, thank you. Okay. What do I want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? Sounds good to me. Thank you for holding my brain. Thank you. What do I want to do? No, what do you want to do? Sounds good to me. Thank you for holding my brain. Oh, you don't like what I'm wearing? Well, what do you want me to wear? Sounds good to me. I love you. Thank you for holding my brain. You are just outstanding. You light my fire. I'm so alive with you, baby. You hold my mind. I'm satisfied. No, I wasn't satisfied. Because he was never satisfied, no matter what I did. Because in this world, there are bubble makers and bubble poppers. That's right. Right? I mean, it didn't matter how small, how big, how many times I would make my bubble. He was always there to pop it. Yeah. But that's okay. Because there were times when he didn't pop it. Those would be times he would just take it, hold it, hide it, criticize it. And then all the air would escape. It made me not want to make bubbles anymore, you know? I had a friend, beautiful singing voice, but then somebody told her, somebody that she trusted told her that she couldn't sing. She doesn't sing anymore. Bubble poppers. My husband wanted to keep holding my purse. That's actually one of the main reasons he was using to fight the divorce. Divorce, but that means I won't be able to hold your purse anymore. That's right. We could just be friends. Divorce? Well, what about our daughter? Well, it's better for her that we divorce. And I'm divorcing you. I'm not divorcing her. But that's exactly what he wanted to make me feel. Like divorcing her is divorcing him. And he made it a point to make it very difficult for me to see my little girl. Gonna wait. When I would go to his place to pick her up, he invited me in. He couldn't just give her to me. And he made it known that I was not going to leave that house with my child unless I let him hold my purse. I was confused. I love my child. I want to be with my daughter. And what kind of mother wouldn't do anything she could to be with her daughter? So I let him hold my purse. And while he was holding my purse, I thought about everything he had done to me. And I felt like a slave. I felt like, wait, but this is why I want a divorce, to stop the oppression. And I started to cry. See, I told you we weren't getting a divorce, he said as he saw my tears. When he finished, he let me take our daughter and leave. The next time I came to pick her up, I told him I had a job interview and I couldn't stay. You don't have a job interview. He thought another man was going to be holding my purse. Even if it were true, it is my purse, right? And it has nothing to do with whether or not I should be able to see my child. He then, no means no. He then called me and left a message. And that message, he was imagining himself holding my purse in a voicemail message. It was disgusting. And that's when I knew I could not go back to his place unaccompanied to pick up my daughter. No, we needed to meet in a neutral location. I picked the police station. And of course, he was not happy about that. But he didn't have a choice when he had to pick up our daughter. It was from a police station. But when I had to pick up our daughter from him, he still insisted it would be at his place. Okay, then I will call for police presence. But there were no court orders to make him do the right thing. So, if you want to see her, you come back without the police, he yelled in front of the police as he walked inside, taking our little girl with him. I wouldn't be able to see her again until we went back to court. She was 9 months old. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows fall? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for my heavenly home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. For his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches. I said, I know he watches. I said, I know he watches. He watches. He watches me. Thank you.
Wow, that was very, very powerful. Thank you so much, Lorinda, for that powerful story and the way that you told it. I think it's fair to say that, Lorinda, you were a victim, you became a survivor, and now you're a warrior. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to introduce you today to the 41st mayor of Los Angeles, the first mayor ever to declare Denim Day in LA, and a true ambassador on our behalf for many years. Antonio Villaraigosa is here. Before that, he was a member of the LA City Council, the majority leader and speaker of the California State Assembly, among other prestigious roles. He's currently appointed by Governor Newsom as the infrastructure advisor to the state of California and co-chairman and partner of Actum. I call him Mr. Denim Day. Welcome, Antonio.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all those council members who are here. It's fitting that our leaders, city government leaders, in my case, when we first started out, I was Speaker of the Assembly because I read the story about a woman in Italy who was raped. Thank you. Who was raped, and at the trial, the woman claimed, or the perpetrator who raped her claimed that she couldn't have been raped because her jeans were tight. So I thought I'd wear tight jeans today because I think we all know that's the most ridiculous response, but it was a response that happened in Italy, but it's happened in other places around the world. You know, this organization, and I'm part of the advisory board of this organization, I can tell you, this organization is committed every single day, 365 days, not just during Denim Day, but every day they have an organization where women who are victims of sexual violence or domestic violence can come, or men too, can come to get help, to get assistance, to find a friend, to understand that there's a community of people there for them. You know, I never use the word victim. I am an ally, but my mother, I grew up in a home of domestic violence. My mother was beaten in front of her kids. My mother was terrorized in front of her family. When you're a young man, I was 5 when my father left. When you're a young man, you feel guilty all the way through the years because you couldn't defend your mom. So I can tell you that this organization has special meaning to me and my family. Patty actually knew my mom and worked with her. And so I think what we dedicate ourselves to today is not just wearing jeans, but standing up for these people. We expanded the DART teams, the domestic abuse response teams, while I was mayor. We've now created an office that's focused on this issue. We've got to put the resources behind it. We got to stand up with the families. We got to speak out in the way that woman just did so beautifully, telling her story. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story. You know why? Because it's a story of triumph. It's a story that, you know, you went through hell and you come back. And we appreciate you. God bless you. So I wanted to be here. Woke up a little under the weather, to say the least, this morning. But I promised Patty I'd be here, as I have virtually every year. This is important, everyone. Let's not just celebrate Denim Day. Let's speak out against the violence. Let's stand up and be a witness. Let's hold hands together as a community and say, ya basta. Enough is enough. God bless you. Thank you all.
What I'd like to do now is introduce you to somebody who is just so fundamental to the operations and the programming at Peace Over Violence. Yvette Lozano has been with Peace Over Violence for 22 years, and she is our Chief Program and Operations Officer. 22 years on the front lines. Yvette Lozano.
Hello. Are we still here? Are we here to support survivors? I heard Homeboys arrive. Where's Homeboy Industry? Thank you. I'll give shout outs as we go along. So I have the honor of introducing our next speaker, an amazing youth leader, a member of our Youth Over Violence program at Peace Over Violence. The goal of the Youth Over Violence program and our Intense Summer Institute is to help young people have healthy relationships, impact their schools and their communities, and with their skills, they become leaders in violence prevention. Today, one of our leaders is here, our youth leaders is here, and I'm so honored to be presenting Maya Henry to say a few words. Maya.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya Henry and I'm currently a junior at Girls Academic Leadership Academy. Today is an A day at my school, which means on an ordinary day I would be sitting in my psychology class right about now, and in psych we're learning about how Freud and Aristotle and a myriad of other thinkers throughout time have theorized that when we are born we are blank slates, ready to be shaped and molded by our environments. I say this to say that most people agree we are not born evil. We are not born violent. Like grammatical conventions in how to find X, we learn violence. On Denim Day, we take a stand against this violence. One of my earliest memories of school is of being pushed into the dusty wooden chips of my elementary school playground. I cried, and as I cried into the arms of the TA in charge of playground supervision, I remember being told that I shouldn't be upset over my skin knee. I should be excited that the boy who pushed me had a crush on me. 10 years later, my friends and I know to look for sinking ice and drinks at parties and pull down our uniform skirts when we take the bus home. We slide into our seats right before the bell in a world that has normalized violence, especially against youth. And we attend schools that have stood in the corner aimlessly sharpening their pencils as catcalls and teen dating violence have intensified within their own hallways. This violence is preventable, but we need to take action to prevent it. We need to start uncomfortable conversations in schools, the very place that youth go to learn and grow and develop as people. We need to have serious discussions about unhealthy relationships and unbalanced power dynamics, and we need to provide students with information on how to reach out to friends and classmates in abusive relationships. We need to believe survivors of sexual violence, no matter who they were with, how much they had to drink, or what they were wearing. This prevention work is not a quick lesson followed by a completion-graded quiz. This life-saving work takes time and commitment, and it is what Peace Over Violence does every single day. At age 6, we learn a simple addition that if someone hurts us, they like us. At age 16, we learn statistics and that we still have to wear jeans to protest this. Because in 1992, an 18-year-old girl going to a driving lesson in tight jeans did not ask for it. And in 2023, we are still not asking for it, whether we were rolled up uniform skirts or sweatpants or bikini bottoms or jean shorts. I am proud to see everyone wearing denim today, and I am even more proud to see everyone committed to making sure that the need for Denim Day ends with this generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Let's give her another round of applause. Our youth are our future. Please look up POV's prevention programming. Highly recommend it. So I actually want to introduce our next speaker. Today, it's a very special guest joining us, the first woman to be elected as California Lieutenant Governor, Elaine Velasquez.
Thank you very much, Yvette, and good morning. I'm Eleni Kounalakis, Lieutenant Governor of the state of California, and as Yvette noted, the first woman ever elected to the position, and I am thrilled to be here with all of you today. I'd like to start by taking a moment to celebrate and applaud Patty Giggins, the founder of Denim Day Los Angeles, whose work has truly given a voice to countless victims of sexual assault and rape. And thank you to all of the members of Peace Over Violence for hosting today's rally, as you have done for 24 years every year. And thank you to former Mayor of Los Angeles, Antonio, for your incredible leadership and your voice in this fight. Thank you. Today, all around the world, survivors and allies show up in their denim to shed light on an offensive situation, a terrible reality, which is too common in our society. 1 out of every 5 women and 1 out of every 33 men will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. And this must stop. The vast majority of perpetrators will not be brought to justice for their crimes. Out of 1,000 sexual assaults in the United States, only 310 will be reported to the police. And of those, only 50 of those reports will lead to an arrest, and only 28 will lead to a felony conviction. Out of 1,000 incidents, this has got to stop. We must bring perpetrators to justice. Here in California, we are doing more than ever to address this issue. In 2021, Governor Newsom signed the Denim Day Act, AB 939, by Sabrina Cervantes into law, reaffirming what we know to be true, which is that clothes can never provide consent. Also, in recent years, California has taken action to strengthen laws protecting survivors of sexual assault and abuse. We've established greater amnesty to protect survivors and witnesses of sexual assault. We passed legislation to extend statutes of limitation, and we passed legislation to relieve financial burdens on domestic violence centers. We will not stop. The state of California will continue to aggressively put into place the foundational elements in order to ensure that there is no excuse and never an invitation to rape or violence against women, and to continue the fight to ensure that no means no means no. It is a great privilege to be here with all of you today, and let me just say to all of the victims, you are not alone, and to the future generations of people confronting sexual assault and violence, we will continue to pave the way in order to protect all Californians. Thank you. Thank you, Elaine. So I know I was briefly introduced. Let me reintroduce myself. Slim Shady here. I am Yvette Lozano. I'm the Chief Program and Operations Officer at Peace Over Violence. I've been with the agency for 22 years. This is my 22nd Denim Day. And it's, in my role, I have the privilege of working with amazing interventionists, advocates, case managers, emergency responders, counselor advocate volunteers, many of them are here, trauma therapists, an operations administrative team, and our violence prevention educators. I just got to take a moment right now because I cannot stand up here without acknowledging the amazing work of all these individuals at Peace Over Violence that they worked day in, day out. So POV staff, thank you. They're all here today, I hope. In my years of working side by side with our team members, I myself have responded to many cases and sat with survivors during their most difficult time of their lives. As their advocate and support person, I've taken countless stories of pain and trauma. As an advocate, I help survivors navigate through their various systems. I validate, I support, and I educate. As a self-defense instructor, I empower survivors to find and use their voice. As a trainer, I train other professionals on trauma-informed response and sexual violence and help improve our response to victim survivors. As an ally, I listen, I believe, and I express and show support and honor a survivor's decision always. Denim Day is one of the days that we take to remind us that there is never an excuse and never an invitation to rape, sexual assault, sexually harass, or child sexual abuse. Is that correct? Today, we all come together to support survivors. Is that correct? At Peace Over Violence, we do this work 365 days a year. We respond to survivors through our 24-hour hotline. We show up in person when the survivor reports. We follow up and offer support and guidance, one-on-one counseling, support groups, legal services, and empower survivors through their healing process. We at POV believe survivors. As a Chicana, Mexican-American, born and raised in Los Angeles, sexual violence was never an easy topic to discuss in my home. I, too, am a survivor. Never really talked about it, and I will not today. But we all must strive to be allies to those who have suffered, even when it's difficult, right? It's very important to have conversations to prevent sexual violence and provide safe spaces for those who have experienced sexual abuse. This is why I'm so proud to announce that this year, our longtime Los Angeles partners from the Consulado General de Mexico and the government of Mexico have joined our Denim Day campaign efforts. Through its 52 council representations in the United States, this means that the entire consulario network of the government of Mexico in the United States, as well as its offices headquartered in Mexico City, will be joining us today in Denim Day efforts to amplify the message and expand awareness around sexual violence prevention through the U.S. and Mexico. Estoy muy orgullosa de estar en esta alianza con el Consulado Mexicano y el apoyo del gobierno mexicano. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, the Council of Protección, Consulado de Protección, Juan Carlos Rodríguez Muñoz.
Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. So, thank you, Patty Giggins and Peace Over Violence. Yvette, thank you for having us today. It is a great pleasure, as has been said before, that for the first time, the 52 Mexican consulates in the United States, we are the country with the largest consulate network in another country in the world. No other country in the world has as many consulates as Mexico has in the United States. So we can say we're national in that way. So the 52 consulates, including our new consulate in New Brunswick, New Jersey, will be joining the campaign on Denim Day. This is huge because this will amplify the message that we also do not support violence. We condemn it, and we support victims of it. Of course, speak up, raise your voice, díganlo, háblenlo, and please, if you are Mexican, reach out to your nearest consulate. We are literally in all the country. Estamos literalmente en todo el país. Búsquenos y estamos ahí para apoyarlos. Thank you again, Peace Over Violence, for having us, and it is a great day to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our Deputy Mayor, Mayor's Office of Public Safety, and representing LA Mayor Karen Bass, Brian Williams. Brian is formerly an Executive Director at the County of Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Civilian Oversight Commission. Brian has been a friend of POV for many years. I'd like to welcome to the podium.
Good almost afternoon. On behalf of the mayor who couldn't be here today, I just want to thank the council members for their leadership, and specifically Councilwoman Rodriguez for her leadership in bringing this day forward today. I also want to thank my good friend Patty Giggins, who I think is in council right now. She's got a tough job. But she does it with tremendous passion, and we all need to support Patty as much as we can, and I wanted to thank Patty for that. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for being here, and all of you who are here today as well. I do want to give a special shout out to Carol Perez. Carol, if you can raise your hand over there. Carol's in charge of the mayor's domestic violence program and does a great job. You know, I was reading the newspaper this morning, and they were describing the number of rapes that occurred in a particular community here in the Los Angeles area. And they said that there were only 5 that occurred in the last year. And that struck me because they acted as though only 5 was a good thing. And I want to tell you today, the one thing that's most important is 1 is too many. 1 is simply too many. So when the journalists who are here today write the story about this great reception we're having today, and they write the story about peace over violence, and they write the story about sexual assaults, I hope the headline simply reads this: 1 is too many. Thank you for being here.
We want to really appreciate everyone for coming out this afternoon. I see a couple of our partner agencies. If I miss some of you, please shout out. I see the Downtown Women's Center. I see our California Coalition Valor in the house. I already mentioned and gave a shout out to Homeboy Industry. Thank you so much for all your supporting. Thank you for council members, Deputy Mayor, Lieutenant Governor, all the speakers here today, our survivors, our board, and please enjoy the rest of the rally. And I want to extra shout out to also Carol, Ebony, our DART teams are here, LAPD partners. Thank you so much for always standing by POV. Thank you so much for amplifying the voices of survivors and supporting our Denim Day campaign. Thank you.